Hi, I'm Paul McGee. I'm author of the book S.U.M.O Your Relationships, How to Handle, Not Strangle the People You Live and Work With. And a character that we come across in life who I guess a lot of people would go, well, why have you included them on how to deal with difficult people, would be a character I call the happy. Let me give you some examples of the kind of thing happies do. Imagine that they've gone to visit someone who's been involved in a car accident. Well, here's the happy. They're always going to look on the bright side of life. And, you know, they walk into the hospital and it's like, all right, you've lost both your legs, but you've still got your arms. And by the way, can I buy those shoes off you because you won't be needing them anymore? You know, and what about when they've heard that you've lost an elderly relative? What does the happy always come out with? Well, at least they had a good innings. Or what about when the happy hears that you've just split up with your partner? Well, there's no real compassion. There's no, oh, just tell me all about it and I'll be a support. What's one of the happy's first reactions? Never mind. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Happies just want to hoover up negative emotions. And are there occasions when you want to be around happies? Of course there are. You know, if you're making a drama out of a crisis, then a happy can help you put things in perspective. But I think, well, there's maybe a few tips sometimes just to be aware of how to deal with happies. First of all, if you yourself find yourself being a bit of a happy, and I can relate to that, just be aware that not everyone wants to be cheered up straight away. In a sense, sometimes if people have got an issue or a problem or a challenge, they just want a good listening to. And one of my S.U.M.O insights in the book is called Listen Loud. And for happy, sometimes that would be a real good strategy to do. So just recognise, hey, don't just because you feel uncomfortable because they're sad doesn't mean you've got to suddenly make them happy. I think another strategy with a happy sometimes is, again, something we've talked about before, communicate your needs. In other words, just say to them, look, I've got a bit of an issue, got a bit of a problem. I know I'm going to be fine about it and I know there's a bright perspective, but can I just tell you how I'm feeling at the moment? And I know I'll get better soon, but can you tell me about it? Another point with a happy is this. Happies get into what I call wishful thinking. Oh, everything will be all right. You'll see. You'll be laughing about this in 6 months' time. And I think sometimes when you're with a happy and you've got a problem, I actually say to them, look, I appreciate your optimistic outlook, but I would really value not just an optimistic outlook, but some practical ideas and possibly some solutions that we can explore together to actually resolve this. Because I think sometimes happies have that habit of just putting their head in the sand and hoping things are going to be okay. Well, hope isn't always the best strategy. So be aware of when you're being a happy and be aware also how to deal with them. They mean well, but sometimes you just want your hippo time. You want a bit of a wallow. It's an emotional need you've got, and occasionally happies don't let you have that time. So, another S.U.M.O character to be aware of, the happy.